Let me tell you something. If you'd asked me a year ago what it takes to start an all-out war in a sleepy California suburb, I never in a million years would have guessed all you need is a swimming pool, a locked gate, and a woman named Karen with a clipboard addiction. Yeah, that's where my American dream story took a sharp left. I'm not kidding, I bought this place to get some peace, but I wound up on the front lines of the HOA's version of guerrilla warfare. You think I'm exaggerating, just wait. So here's how it kicked off. I just moved into my dream home, perched up on this lonely ridge right next to Clearwater Vista, a gated community where even the mailboxes match and the sidewalks are so clean you feel guilty for breathing on them. My house, though, it's not part of their HOA. Not even close. My deed is my own, and my only neighbor is the canyon wind. Still, I guess nobody told Clearwater Vista's HOA that a boundary means anything. Or maybe they just didn't care. First week after move-in, I'm sipping coffee, sorting through kitchen boxes when this fancy envelope shows up. Thick paper, smells like printer ink and entitlement. I open it, expecting maybe a welcome to the neighborhood. Instead, it's a letter. Dear neighbor, your pool's location makes it the perfect asset for the families of our association. Blah blah community spirit. Basically, they want me to unlock my private pool every weekend so their residents can come splash around. I laughed so hard I nearly spit coffee all over my renovation plans. The letter wasn't a joke, though. They were dead serious. I ignored it, figuring if you don't feed the raccoons, they go away. But nope. 3 days later, my phone buzzes with a motion alert. I pull up the camera feed, and there they are, 3 people at my gate. The ringleader, blonde Bob, arms folded, clipboard so tight against her chest you'd think it was radioactive. Karen Aldridge, the infamous president of the Clearwater Vista HOA. Her goons, let's call them Todd and Cheryl, flanking her like backup singers. She's messing with my keypad, talking about legal gray areas and default codes. I hop on the intercom and say, "Can I help you?" She gives me this smile so tight I'm surprised her teeth don't shatter. "Mr. Cross, we need to discuss community access." I told her my house wasn't built for swim lessons, and the only group activity I wanted was me, myself, and a sunset. She walked off her heels, making that click you hear in movies right before something explodes. After that, things got creative. Flyers in my mailbox with drone shots of my pool organizing a community vote about access to my property. Next door posts with blurry zoom-ins of my backyard folks accusing me of hostility for not wanting to turn my pool into their water park. And then it started kids sneaking up to the gate, trying random codes, some teenager in a hoodie filming himself like he was on a spy mission, and vandalism, scratches down my stone pillars, clipped wires on my security gate. I spent more on new cameras and steel lock boxes than I ever did on patio furniture. I called a lawyer who basically said they're nuts but keep every piece of paper, so I did. But it didn't slow them down. Another glossy flyer appeared, this one laminated taped right to my gate. 88%. Vote yes for pool access zone. And a threat, please comply before we escalate to formal remedies. I nearly choked. These people were voting on what to do with my property like I was the absentee landlord of their timeshare. Things got weirder. I'd catch Karen and her clipboard army loitering near my property line, muttering about zoning overlays and spirit of the community. Spirit apparently being HOA speak for, we want your stuff. Then the real escalation, false 911 calls. One afternoon, police rolled up, lights flashing, because someone reported a child in distress near an unattended pool. It was just me and my dog. The cops, to their credit, watched my security footage, shrugged, and said, "Looks like you've got a stalker, not a safety hazard." I filed a report, of course. But it was clear Karen wasn't playing checkers anymore. She was playing chess. The next twist, a petition. Not a real one, something out of a Kafka novel. 5 pages dripping with legal mumbo-jumbo about proximity, privilege, and communal visual access. At the bottom, a zoning request for my property filed with the county, signed with my name. Forged. That was the last straw. My lawyer filed fraud complaints, sent cease and desists, even flagged the county zoning office. That's when we found out this wasn't Karen's first rodeo. There were similar filings from her in other border disputes. She just never expected someone to fight back. And here's the wildest part. Turns out one of the junior clerks at the zoning board had been tracking Karen's creative filings for a while. He tipped us off that she'd even photoshopped maps and diagrams showing how my yard could be community-friendly. We subpoenaed the HOA's emails, and there it was, a digital paper trail of Karen telling her board, "If he won't cooperate, we'll move through zoning." Her own team had doubts. One even asked, "Are we sure this is legal?" Karen's answer, "Legal boundaries are flexible when community cohesion is on the line. That's not community, that's a cartel." Now, I'm not a confrontational guy, but when someone fakes your signature on a county document, it's go time. I put up a giant steel sign, "Private property, no HOA access." Tried subtlety, but subtlety got me bolt cutters at 2 a.m. And then came the break-in. Yep, caught on camera, hooded figure, gloves, bolt cutters. They didn't get in, but left the cutters behind. I printed out stills from the video, stapled them to the HOA's trail, trespassing attempt recorded. Next time, prosecution. For a minute, it got quiet. Then the press got involved. A reporter called, clearly tipped off by someone in the HOA. Their newsletter even called me out, labeling me selfish during a record heat wave, painting me as the villain of Clearwater Vista. They blasted my pool photo everywhere, unused luxury, while children suffer in the heat. I started getting emails, parents begging for access, some accusing me of being a sociopath. My lawyer went into overdrive, pulling every email, every next-door post, every voicemail stacked taller than a year's worth of junk mail. Then came the big break. The county sheriff's office investigated the 911 call, traced it straight back to Karen's cell phone, placed right after she sent her escalation email to the board. That wasn't just harassment anymore, that was a felony. And when we finally went to court, it was all on the table, video of Karen at my gateboard emails about making me tired enough to give in, even a voice recording of a board member suggesting, "What if we stage another emergency work the first time? You should have seen the judge's face." Karen tried her usual speech about community and the spirit of the HOA. The judge cut her off. "Spirit is not a legal defense." Then he laid it out, restraining order against Karen, sanctions against the HOA case, referred to the state for criminal review. "This HOA is operating like a cartel," he said. And just like that, the air in the courtroom changed. Outside, I finally got to say my piece to the press. This is about property rights, not imaginary community feelings. And that was that. Or almost. Karen got indicted for falsifying documents, filing false police reports, and criminal harassment. The HOA board collapsed, resignations, audits, residents finally speaking up about fines for wind chimes and mailbox colors and hostile rose bushes. My property got certified as outside any HOA-influenced private sanctuary status even. And me, I threw a barbecue for my new allies, the inspector, the drone guy, my lawyer, who now had a stack of new HOA cases. Last thing I did, welded a sign to my gate private pool. Not for HOA. They already called 911. Every time I hear the gate buzz now, I just look at the camera, smile, and let the steel do its job. You want to know what real community spirit looks like? It's standing your ground even when the clipboards come knocking. So let's open it up. Do you think community means the right to take what isn't yours? Where's the line between neighborly and nosy? Drop your thoughts, your city, or your wildest HOA story in the comments. I read everyone. And hey, if you want more stories like this, hit subscribe, share, and let's keep the conversation rolling.